And welcome back to the WHHI Daily News. With us now is veterinarian Dr. Brad Ryan, and we're talking about certain diseases that affect our dogs and cats, particularly in this southeastern region of the United States. And they're referred to as vector diseases. So Dr. Ryan, you want to just jump right in and let us know what's a vector disease?
Yeah, a vector is just a fancy way of saying biting insects. So think mosquitoes, think ticks, these little biting insects that have the ability to transmit diseases like heartworm disease in the case of mosquitoes, or Lyme disease, ehrlichiosis in the case of ticks.
So why is, let's start with heartworm. Why is that so common in Georgia, South Carolina, sir?
Well, it has to do with the fact that you have a hot, humid climate year-round that mosquitoes thrive in, right? So the warmer it is, the more humid it is, and the longer that season lasts, you're going to have potentially a year-round threat of diseases like heartworm disease, just based on the fact that you're in a climate that the vector loves. And as we see a warming climate, we've noticed that every year it moves further and further north, all the way up into Ohio, where I live.
Right. So you give your dog heartworm pills, right? Like twice a year or whatever. That prevents heartworm. Does it 100%?
Well, there's always a chance that a medication could fail over time, and we're not going to know that unless large numbers of dogs who are on year-round prevention start testing positive for heartworm. And so that's one of the big reasons why we recommend testing your pet every year, even if they've been on a year-round preventative medication. So the recommendation right now for pretty much every dog living in the United States is that they are on a flea and tick prevention as well as a heartworm prevention medication all 12 months of the year. So some of them are given monthly. In the case of heartworm, you could have your veterinarian do an injectable form. Some veterinarians will do a 6-month or 12-month duration injectable heartworm prevention. So that's a conversation for you to have with your veterinarian.
Okay, very good. Now let's jump to Lyme disease. And Lyme disease is caused by ticks, is that right?
That's right. And specifically the deer tick. And so our hot spots for Lyme historically have been in New England and in the upper Midwest, so think Minnesota, Wisconsin. But we've seen this bridging, and so all the states in between are now showing high levels of Lyme prevalence. And then we're seeing a southward progression. So in the last year or two, the Companion Animal Parasite Council has sounded the alarm for North Carolina particularly, as well as Tennessee, as Lyme and anaplasmosis move along with these deer ticks further and further south and further west. But keep in mind that people move around, they travel, they bring their pets with them on vacation, and there's really no reason to think that that your part of the country would be immune or completely safe from Lyme exposure. So low risk, not the same thing as no risk, which is why I would want all of your listeners to make sure that, once again, year-round prevention for Lyme and other tick-borne diseases, but also an annual screening test at your veterinarian's office.
Well, you said annual screening. So Dr. Ryan, I'm thinking you as the pet owner need to be constantly looking through the hair of your pet to make sure you don't see that tick. And can you even see it?
You can see them. It really depends on the species of tick that we're talking about. So, we don't want people to be so terrified to go outside that they stop going outside. That's not the goal. You can definitely take a sigh of relief if your pet's on year-round prevention and you're doing your due diligence that way. But yeah, especially if you've been out hiking or if you live on a property that is adjacent to a patch of forest, I think it's a good idea to stop Fluffy at the back door, do a little comb through.
Okay.
Don't be crazy about it, but just do your due diligence and also inspect yourself, because the ticks can get off your dog and walk across the floor and get on you.
Right. So we have about a minute left. Any other parasites that we need to be concerned about, Dr. Ryan?
Well, while your Lyme and Anaplasma risk are relatively low, even though that's an evolving story, a tick-borne disease that you do have very, very commonly in the Southeast is called ehrlichiosis. And this can cause destruction of red blood cells as well as platelets in your pet. So if you're noticing any type of bruising, any type of little pinpoint hemorrhages, the little red dots on your pet's skin or on their gums, that can be a sign. But especially if your pet's just acting a little off, a little lethargic, maybe not eating as much, and you haven't had your pet on prevention year-round, I think that's the time that you want to pick up the phone and call your veterinarian and let them know that you're concerned potentially about exposure to tick-borne disease.
Okay, very good. Outstanding information. Thank you, Dr. Brad Ryan, a veterinarian, giving us good tips for our pets. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this edition of the WHHI Daily News. I'm Robyn Zimmerman. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.